Fabrizio Romano claims Liverpool are looking at a player from a rival. Fabrizio Romano claims that Liverpool have received information about the possibility of signing Kalvin Phillips from Manchester City this summer. According to the latest reports, Liverpool have made contact with Manchester City's Kalvin Phillips and a deal could be done. Phillips has had a very limited role at Manchester City since his arrival before last season. He has made just 21 appearances in all competitions, and there is now a suggestion that he could leave this summer. The Citizens are planning to send the midfielder out on loan to get his career back on track, because they believe that a move elsewhere will give him the opportunity to reinvent himself. Pep Guardiola thinks he can do without him for a year. Earlier in the summer, the Englishman said he had no plans to leave this term unless he could once again be part of Guardiola's plans at the Etihad Stadium. "We've just won the treble, so there's no reason for me to leave, but if I don't play then of course I'll have to think about it. I can't say I'm leaving because I'm not playing and wait 12 months, he said. However, the 27-year-old has yet to feature for Guardiola's team this season, and that suggests he may reconsider his initial stance. Now Manchester City are reportedly willing to let him leave. According to recent reports, Liverpool have made inquiries about the midfielder and discovered that their Premier League rivals are willing to let him leave. This suggests that a deal could be on the cards in a promising update. Romano revealed that the Reds are interested in signing Kalvin Phillips. Liverpool have started talks to get information on the situation of another player, Kalvin Phillips. It is true that Liverpool have asked about Kalvin Phillips' situation because the player's priority has always been to stay at Manchester City and fight for his place at City. But at the moment there are no concrete talks from club to club, he said. Despite Ilkay Gundogan's departure in the summer, the England international is no closer to breaking into the first team, and a move elsewhere could be tempting to give him the best possible chance of making Gareth Southgate's European Championship squad next summer. The former Leeds United man had planned to stay and fight for his place in the team, but a move to Anfield could make him think twice. The Leeds-born midfielder has been limited to an irregular role at Manchester City, but is an England international who has established himself in the Premier League during his time at his hometown club. Praised as the Rolls-Royce by journalist Josh Bunting, the maestro recorded an average of 7.2 SofaScore match points in the 2020-2021 season, the highest of any player in the Leeds squad. Following Fabinho's departure, Jürgen Klopp is in need of a talented defensive midfielder, and Phillips averaged 4.8 touches in midfield in the 2021-2022 season, the second highest in the league. It remains to be seen whether City would be willing to sell one of their players to a direct rival, but if they were to sanction a deal, the £150,000 a week midfielder could be a solid addition to Klopp's squad, making this a transfer to watch. Pundit suggests Jürgen Klopp should immediately bench the £45 million Liverpool player as he is a weak link. Jürgen Klopp has been urged to replace Diogo Jota in the Liverpool starting 11 this weekend. Jota has surprisingly started both of the Reds' Premier League games this season. On Saturday, the 26-year-old headed home Dominic Szoboszlai's shot to put Liverpool 3-1 up. But according to pundit Stefan Warnock, that shouldn't be enough to keep his place in the team. Speaking to Sky Sports News, the former Reds defender said Jota is arguably the weak link in Klopp's forward line. "I think there is a real mix between the three strikers," he began. "Individually I think Luis Diaz is a player who will try to get people out of their seats and up on their feet. He's a player who can challenge people individually. Salah will do that to a certain extent, but there are moments in the game when Salah is very quiet, but whenever he gets the ball you feel that something special can happen or he can change the situation in an instant. You could say that Jota is the weak link in the front three because in his duos he is quite sloppy with the ball at times and the game breaks down a bit. But when he gets into the penalty area, he's a different animal, he comes alive, he's like lightning. We saw that in his goal on Saturday. I think if Endo starts and Alexis Mac Allister and Dominic Szoboszlai play further up the pitch, I think Gakpo will move into the centre-forward position and Jota will drop to the bench," he said. Many will disagree with Warnock here. Jota has proven time and time again that he deserves a place in the Liverpool starting 11. Despite scoring on Saturday and setting up Luis Diaz's opener, you get the feeling you want more from Diogo. His touch is infuriatingly poor at times and he has a tendency to start the game with a turnover every time he gets the ball at his feet. With Darwin Núñez on the bench and Cody Gakpo in a deeper role, sometimes you can't help but wish he'd switch places with Jota. But Klopp clearly trusts him. And since his £45 million move to Anfield in 2020, Jota has earned that trust. With 42 goals in 115 appearances for the club, the 26-year-old has been a reliable source when Liverpool needed him. For now, it looks like he has the shirt. With other options scarce, Gakpo is likely to continue in midfield. Darwin may have reason to complain, but as long as Jota is scoring goals, it's hard to see Jürgen taking him off. Unlike Darwin Núñez, Jota is not a typical striker. He is more of a passer forward who can link up. This means that, like Firmino, he has the ability to set up his teammates. A very valuable trait for Klopp's system. Liverpool have received some very positive news ahead of their clash with Newcastle on Sunday. Newcastle United have made a new signing ahead of this weekend's game against Liverpool, while the Reds made a reinforcement on Tuesday. Lewis Hall will be eager to make his debut for the Toon at St James Park on Sunday, but one player who looks set to miss out for Liverpool is summer signing Alexis Mac Allister. He was sent off during the 3-1 win over Bournemouth at the weekend. The World Cup winner was shown a straight red card for a tackle on Cherries ace Ryan Christie. Replays showed it was a dubious decision, but apparently not dubious enough for VAR to change the referee's decision. Liverpool played the rest of the game with 10 men and managed to come out victorious, but their biggest concern was their next game against Newcastle. They already have limited midfield options and going to St James Park without Mac Allister could have been a disaster. However, he will now be available for the Reds. Earlier this week Liverpool appealed Mac Allister's red card in the hope that the Premier League would overturn the decision. The response came on Tuesday and it was confirmed that the 24-year-old's dismissal had been overturned. This means he will now be available to face Newcastle on Sunday. It was wrong to send him off and he will rightly be able to play on Tyneside this weekend. It will be a perfect match as there is a bit of tension between the two clubs after last season. This time last year there was an altercation on the touchline at Anfield, while Jürgen Klopp has made numerous references to the Magpies over the past few months. They were the only team to beat Newcastle twice last season, so Eddie Howe's side will want to right that wrong. Even with the news that Mac Allister will be available for selection rather than suspended, the Magpies will be hoping for a positive result.